Finally, probably the most amazing, crazy leap of faith that we have in the Bible is Abraham and Isaac. You see, God made this huge promise to Abraham. He says, because you've been faithful to me, I'm going to create out of you and your descendants a huge nation that's dedicated especially to me. I'm going to bless them like no other nation on this earth has been blessed. I'm going to be their God. They're going to be a special people. And they're all going to come through you. One problem. Abraham couldn't have any kids. Been married a while, no kids coming. Been married quite a while, still no kids coming. In fact, Abraham's wife starts to decide we need to start taking matters into our own hands. And so they get the servant lady. And so Abraham goes in with the servant lady and he has a kid with the servant lady. But then God says two angels to him and says, no, that's not going to be your heir. Yeah, it's a nice try, you know, you're trying to fix things your way, but God never had that plan. You're going to have a child with your wife. But she's 90 years old, you know, things stop working. I mean, this isn't really going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. So he has one son. God's huge big promise to Abraham about having this entire nation, about having all this land be given to his ancestors rested on one son. And then God asked Abraham. I think Isaac was about 15, somewhere around there. He was a teenager. God came to Abraham and says, I want you to do something for me. You've proven yourself that you put me first in your life, but I want you to show me that you really mean that. I'm asking you to go sacrifice Isaac. Can you imagine the journey? Because he didn't tell Isaac right away, of course. Here they are, journeying along, going, because they had to travel, I think it was 3 days or something, out in the desert. Can you imagine that kind of a journey? Abraham's holding on to this secret that he can't tell his son. I'm sure every little thing that was out there that was nice, he was trying to point out to Isaac, trying to, you know, have a little dad-son time there. You know, they had a couple of servants with him, and finally they got to the place, and they told the servants to wait. And so it's just Isaac and Abraham walking up there, and he's telling Isaac, okay, well, we're going to have this sacrifice. And Isaac, being a bright boy that he was, he's looking around, he's going, well, we got this little jug thing that has some fire in it, I get that. And, you know, I'm carrying the wood, I get that, but, hey, Dad, aren't we missing something? Aren't we supposed to have like a sheep or a goat or something, you know? Aren't we missing something? Abraham still can't face telling his son. He says, well, God will provide. And so they get up there and they build this altar and they get all the wood on it. Here's Abraham. Son, I got to tell you something. By this time, Isaac's starting to kind of figure it out. Abraham tells him, you're the sacrifice. Isaac, I don't know what kind of parenting Abraham did or what kind of spirit God put into Isaac, but instead of smacking the old man and taking off through the bushes, he reached around, put his hands together, allowed his father to tie him up, got on the altar, waited. His father raised his knife to kill the only possibility of God's promise ever coming true, his own son. Now, it doesn't say that in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament, it gives us a glimpse as to what was going on in Abraham's mind. And it says that Abraham knew that God was going to fulfill his promise. But Abraham thought that, well, if I kill my son, then God can raise him up again. And so that was what Abraham's thinking was. He truly expected that he was going to shove this knife down through his son's heart and his son was going to die. If that isn't a leap of faith, I don't think there is a definition for that. But just as he was ready to run the knife through his son's heart, bah, bah, we have a ram caught over here. And God says, it's okay. You passed the test. Sacrifice the ram. A leap of faith. But because of that, We have a story that's been handed down for thousands of years as to what it means to put God's directions, God's calling ahead of everything else in our life. But in case you think that all these stories are just for historical benefit, happened to a lot of people a long time ago, it happens today.